Well, we talked about Margie, now let's talk about Rose. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you. Today we are going to look at Sother Teague. We've looked at his book before, and this time we have looked at, in the past, at the Margarita many times. This time we are going to look at the Rosarita. So Sother Teague created this. I don't have the exact date, and so there's not a lot of history with the cocktail. And as usual, there's not a lot of history. Let's do a little bit more drinking. Okay, and we are back, and we have our relatively limited set of ingredients. The first thing we're going to toss in our shaker is our raspberry shrub. This is an ingredient that I was not previously familiar with. So shrubs are a cocktail ingredient where they're very similar to simple syrups, except instead of using water, you use vinegar. Which I am told adds a certain acidity to the cocktail. So essentially this is equal part, well not equal parts, very close to equal parts, crushed raspberries, apple cider vinegar, and sugar. This calls for a lot. This calls for 1.5 ounces. And we have just enough. I didn't want to make a full batch of this until I was kind of sure I liked it, which I do like it. So I just had just enough for this one. Next we're going to use 2 ounces of our tequila, because what margarita type cocktail would be complete without tequila? I'm just going to go ahead and use 1800 here. I think it's perfectly fine tequila. So there's one other ingredient and also a garnish, but we're going to talk about that after we've shaken the cocktail up. So next thing we're going to do is get some ice in our shaker. Alright, so go ahead and pour that in over your ice. And we're going to give this a good shake. One thing to note on this one, because of this, the shrub syrup is very, very thick, so I'm using not quite as much ice, because sometimes I think if you use too much ice, it's going to freeze it, and you're not going to get that into your drink like you'd like. Got a good mix there. Now, when I talked about my other ingredient, it is absinthe, and it's just a dash. So I'm going to do this sort of like you would a Sazerac cocktail, and I am just going to kind of squirt that into the glass prior to, because primarily what the absinthe is doing there is giving that kind of that effervescence and kind of the aroma, which is very good. All right. So we're going to go ahead and double strain that into our prepared cocktail glass, or excuse me, our rocks glass. And you can see I already strained this shrub, but it's still pretty thick. So you kind of got to give it some taps to get it all through there. All right, let's see. A little bit of syrup's not a terrible thing. Okay, next we're going to put in our one big rock. And finally, our garnish for this is going to be some fresh basil leaves, and I would definitely not leave this out. I think this actually adds a lot to the drink. This is a very aromatic drink, and I think that you'll kind of enjoy that about it. But there we have our Rosarita. It's very good. The only thing, as talking sort of about more summery cocktails, I almost wonder if this is more like either a late summer or maybe even like an early spring cocktail. It's got a kind of a warmth to it. The basil leaves kind of add that, you know, basil-y aroma. Now, when you're making the shrub, you actually cook it. Sother Teague says to boil it for 10 minutes, which is significantly longer than you do most simple syrups. So you're baking a lot of the vinegar out of that, but you still do that, get that kind of vinegary acidity kind of note there, which actually mixes in really well with the tequila, and then your absinthe is kind of there around the edges. It's a really good cocktail. A little complex, very aromatic. Yeah, I think you'll like this a lot. It's a really good takeoff on a margarita because it doesn't taste like a margarita. It very much sort of distinguishes itself.
So, yeah, I would recommend this one a lot. And on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good drink, and have a good day.